We have been told a lie so deeply, so persistently, that most people never even question it. The lie is this: money is earned through endless toil, through grinding effort, through the sweat of the brow. But here is the truth that shatters that illusion. Wealth is not earned, wealth is commanded. Wealth responds to the language of your spirit more than the labor of your hands. It is not sweat that creates riches, it is speech. It is the vibration of words that carve the invisible into form. Pause for a moment and let that enter your heart. If wealth is commanded, then whose command is it waiting for? Yours. And if it has been waiting all this time, how many commands have you unknowingly spoken that have pushed it away? How many times have you cursed your own prosperity without realizing it? Every careless sentence about lack, every word of fear, every confession of limitation, these were not harmless remarks. They were decrees written in the unseen, orders placed into the fabric of your reality. So let me ask you now, what if money has always been waiting at the gate of your life, listening for your command? What if every dollar, every opportunity, every open door has been hovering near you like obedient servants, waiting for the word that would release them? What if your words have been the only barrier between you and the abundance that was already appointed to you? This is the hidden formula that few discover, a formula not of mathematics but of metaphysics, not of numbers but of names. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that words are bridges. They carry energy from the unseen world into the seen. They transport divine supply from the invisible warehouse of God into the visible storehouse of your life. When you speak, you are not simply forming sound. You are drafting blueprints for the divine architect to build upon. You are chiseling unseen stone. You are programming the invisible field that must, by law, obey the command it receives. Imagine this with me. Imagine a divine architect standing with a set of plans for your life. On those plans is every provision, every opportunity, every flow of wealth you could ever need. But the architect will not begin building until the spoken word is issued. The plan is complete, the materials are present. But without the word there is no action. Without the decree there is no movement. This is why some live with poverty while others overflow with supply. It is not the education, not the effort, not even the luck. It is the voice, it is the word. You see, the money formula is hidden in plain sight. It has been encoded into scripture, whispered through mystics, lived out by the truly prosperous. The power of the tongue is the power of life and death. With words you release energy, with words you bind or you loose. With words you declare the atmosphere of your finances. And here is the shocking truth. Whether you know it or not, you have already been using this formula. The question is, have you been using it for wealth or for want? Think back to the last week. How many times did you say, I can't afford it? How many times did you say, money never stays with me? How many times did you mutter, things are always hard? Each of these was a command. Each of these was a seed sown into the invisible field. The harvest must come. The universe does not mock your words. It amplifies them. It brings them back multiplied. And yet, just as the wrong commands bring lack, the right commands bring increase. The right words open vaults. The right affirmations draw streams of gold from the unseen into the seen. This is why I must ask you, are you willing to change your language? Are you ready to command rather than complain? To decree rather than doubt, because the complete money formula is not hidden from you. It is hidden in you. It is waiting to be unlocked by your willingness to speak as a co-creator rather than as a beggar. Today, I will take you on a journey through this formula. I will reveal to you how to align your words with divine law so that wealth becomes not a chase but a calling. You will learn how to reframe every phrase, how to plant every sentence like a seed of gold, how to step into the flow of prosperity that has been prepared for you. You will discover that the mouth is not just for survival, it is the throne of creation. Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "Your word is your wand." A wand does not work by accident, it works by intention. Your mouth has been waving the wand of creation every single day, whether you realized it or not. Now is the time to awaken to its sacred power. Now is the time to use it consciously, with authority, with faith. So I invite you, stay with me through this teaching, for what you will uncover here is more than advice. It is alignment. It is the hidden formula that shifts lack into wealth, despair into faith, emptiness into overflow. If you are ready, the journey begins now. And before we go deeper, let me say this. If you want daily motivational and spiritual videos that rewire your mind for prosperity and inner freedom, make sure to subscribe right now. This channel is your sacred space for breakthrough. Now, take a breath, Feel the weight of your words, and prepare, because the complete money formula is about to be unlocked in your life. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke a truth that echoes through eternity. Your word is your wand. With it you do not merely describe life, you design it. With it you do not simply echo what has been, you declare what must be. The unseen responds to the spoken decree. As faithfully as a shadow answers to light, every syllable you release carries a vibration that sets invisible forces in motion. Think of words as commands delivered to the divine orchestra. Each statement you make is a note struck on the strings of creation. If your words are heavy with fear, the orchestra plays discord. If your words are charged with faith, the orchestra swells with harmony. And it is this harmony that arranges people, places, and provision in your favor. This is why careless speech is never truly careless. Words are not empty air, they are living seeds. When you say, "I can't afford it," you plant poverty. When you say, "Money never stays," you scatter the seed of loss. When you mutter, "Things are always hard," you instruct the soil of the universe to bear struggle. These phrases may seem harmless, but they are spells cast against your own fortune. You become both the speaker and the saboteur. Yet, there is a sacred law that rescues you from this trap, the law of substitution. It teaches that you cannot fight fear by resisting it, you replace it. You cannot dissolve lack by staring at it, you substitute it with abundance. The human mind cannot hold two opposing pictures at once. If you paint it with poverty, it cannot see wealth. But if you paint it with prosperity, the image of poverty fades. The moment you replace the destructive phrase with a life-giving one, you shift the entire frequency of your financial field. Words are keys that unlock vaults. The vault is already full. The treasures are already stored, but the wrong key will never open the door. When you declare, "I am always broke," you are turning a key that does not fit. The gate remains shut. But when you speak, "Money comes to me freely, richly, endlessly. I am supported by divine supply," you place the right key into the lock, and the vault swings wide. The treasure flows, opportunities align, provision multiplies. Imagine yourself standing in a field of invisible soil. Every sentence you speak drops like a seed into that soil. The earth makes no judgment. It does not reject the thorn or the rose. It simply grows what is planted. If you scatter words of lack, the soil gives you lack. If you scatter words of increase, the soil gives you increase. The question is not whether the harvest will come, it is which harvest you are preparing with your tongue. This is why affirmations are more than hopeful phrases. They are deliberate plantings in the garden of destiny. Speak this daily. Every word I release builds my fortune in the unseen, and it must return multiplied. Feel that declaration take root. Picture golden seeds dropping into the soil, sprouting roots, rising with branches heavy with fruit. Every time you affirm wealth, you are not begging for money to appear. You are authorizing its arrival. You are commanding the invisible to take visible form. The power of the tongue is not symbolic, it is literal. The tongue is the compass of your destiny. It points the ship of your life toward famine or toward feast. If you allow it to drift with complaint and fear, you set your course toward struggle. But if you grip it with intention and point it toward faith, you sail toward provision. Every command of wealth spoken in faith pulls the winds of supply into your sails. Let us practice together. Whisper with authority. Money is my obedient servant. It comes quickly and easily at my command. Say it again, slowly, with the weight of faith. I am aligned with divine supply. What I speak is established for me now. These are not empty affirmations. They are codes written into the unseen. They are decrees the universe cannot ignore. And so I must ask you again, what words are you releasing each day? Are they words that bind or words that build? Are they commands that open gates or whispers that keep them closed? Your life is the echo of your language, the balance in your account, the flow of opportunities, the level of ease you walk in, all are mirrors of the words you have sown. Here is your practice for today. Become conscious of your speech. Catch every phrase that drips with fear or doubt. When you hear yourself say, "I can't," stop, breathe, replace it with, "I can and I will." When you hear yourself sigh, "It is too hard," substitute it with, "All things are working together in my favor." Train your tongue like a master trains a horse. Do not let it run wild. Guide it with faith, and it will carry you to riches. The truth is this: the problem is not that you lack money. The problem is that you misuse the language of wealth. You command poverty more often than prosperity, but the moment you shift your speech, you shift your world. And when you realize that words are not descriptions but decrees, you awaken the formula that few ever discover. Prepare your heart, because in the next step we will uncover the silent sabotage most people never notice. We will name the hidden patterns of speech that keep the vault closed, and once exposed, you will never fall into them again. You long for abundance, you pray for freedom, you imagine a life where money no longer dictates your choices. And yet, without realizing it, your very own words have been writing a different story. Not a story of wealth, but a story of resistance, delay, and loss. This is the silent sabotage of speech. It is subtle, almost invisible, and yet it has more power over your financial reality than any paycheck, any economy, or any opportunity. Think about it. How often have you whispered to yourself, "I'm barely surviving," or sighed, "Money never stays with me"? Each time, the universe hears your confession as a command, and life, being faithful to its laws, echoes it back. You say you are surviving, and life ensures survival, but not abundance. You say money never stays, and like water slipping through fingers, it finds its way out. Picture someone standing before a sacred gate of wealth. Behind the gate lies peace, freedom, divine provision, the ability to bless others without fear. But this gate only opens with a word, the right word, and so many stand there, year after year, repeating the wrong password. "I can't afford that. I'll never catch a break. It's always hard for me." With each word, the gate remains sealed, not out of cruelty, but because the law of speech cannot be deceived. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the power of the tongue. Every syllable is a seed planted in the invisible soil of creation. What you scatter in haste will rise in your field tomorrow. And here is the truth most ignore. It is not only your intentional affirmations that create, it is also the casual phrases, the unguarded murmurs, the sighs of defeat, spoken in traffic, in grocery lines, in the quiet of your own mind. This is why so many feel trapped. Their conscious desire cries for wealth, yet their unconscious words weave a net that blocks it. It is as though two voices are speaking within them, one calling for light, and one chanting shadows. The law of non-resistance reveals the hidden wound. Every complaint, every frustrated phrase like "nothing ever works for me" is an act of resistance against divine flow. The moment you resist, you choke the very river that longs to carry provision to your door. Resistance hardens the soil. Faith softens it. Resistance closes the hand. Gratitude opens it. Pause for a moment. Feel the weight of the phrases you have spoken about money in just the last week. How many of them opened doors? How many quietly closed them? How many times did you unknowingly lock yourself out of the very abundance you prayed for? Here is a sacred journal prompt for you. What are the phrases I speak daily about money? Do they open doors or close them? Write them down without judgment. See them for what they are. Keys or barriers, passwords or locks. This moment of awareness is not here to condemn you, it is here to free you, because once you see the sabotage, you can stop feeding it. Once you hear the tone of your own voice, you can choose a new one. The tragedy is not that people lack money, the tragedy is that they misuse language. They curse their harvest before it has even broken through the soil. They declare lack, and lack faithfully arrives. They name struggle, and struggle obeys like a servant. But there is a deeper truth waiting, and this is the promise I give you. In the next section, you will learn how to speak the words that open the vault of abundance, words that command the universe to deliver wealth freely and richly. No more standing before a locked gate, no more repeating the wrong password. The moment you realign your speech, the gate begins to swing open, and the supply you were meant to carry begins to rush toward you. There comes a moment when wishing is no longer enough, a moment when prayer must move from pleading lips into commanding speech. This is the path to alignment, where your words stop sounding like the cries of a beggar and begin to flow as the decrees of a sovereign soul. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand, but here is the deeper truth. Your wand does not tremble in weakness. It does not beg, it commands. When you speak from faith, you are not asking life to change, you are authorizing the invisible kingdom to obey. Imagine this with me. You are seated upon a throne within your own being. Around you lies an unseen kingdom, vast and responsive. Every word that leaves your mouth is a royal decree. When you speak lack races to fulfill your command. When you speak wealth, wealth gathers itself and begins to move toward you. The invisible servants of your words never question, they do not argue, they only obey. This is why alignment is everything, for authority is not in shouting, authority is in certainty. Authority is in speaking from your soul's compass, not your fear. Words born of panic scatter like dust in the wind. Words born of faith become rooted, like seeds planted in the divine orchard. The law of divine timing is always at work. Every decree you release plants itself into invisible soil, and though you may not see the sprout the next day, it is germinating in silence. Just as a farmer does not tear up the ground to check if the seed is working, so must you trust the unseen. You speak it, you water it with faith, you rest in its season, and in the perfect hour, the harvest rises before you. But how do you craft such commands? How do you move beyond careless speech into the discipline of divine language? Let me give you the tools. Begin with a morning ritual upon waking. Before you let the world imprint its noise upon you, sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and declare aloud, "Today, my words are divine instruments. They establish wealth, order, and peace in my life. What I decree cannot be resisted, for it is aligned with divine law." This ritual cleanses the field of yesterday's chatter and plants the first seeds of power. Next, visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself standing in a golden field that stretches beyond the horizon. This field is the infinite supply of God. When you speak, your words are like radiant beams of light entering the soil. With every affirmation, watch as golden sprouts emerge, multiplying, expanding, bending toward you. Feel the certainty that what you command in this field must bear fruit. Then comes the reframe of inner dialogue. No longer may you whisper, "I hope money comes." Hope is a fragile thread that snaps under pressure. Instead, train your mind to say, "Money is commanded and already moving to me. It is my obedient servant, fulfilling its purpose by flowing into my life." This shift transforms begging into authority, uncertainty into alignment. Here are sacred affirmations to anchor this truth. Money is my obedient servant. It comes quickly and easily at my command. I am aligned with divine supply. What I speak is established for me now. I walk as a creator, not a victim. My words are decrees, and life obeys. Repeat them not as empty lines but as royal proclamations. Feel the authority vibrating in your chest. See the unseen kingdom stirring at your command. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman burdened by endless bills and fear. Each day she muttered, "I never have enough. It's always a struggle," and life, faithful to her decrees, reflected her words. But then she discovered the law of spiritual command. She shifted her speech. She began declaring, "I am supported by divine supply. Money serves me swiftly and without resistance." At first, nothing seemed to change. Yet within weeks, unexpected provision began to appear, a refund she had forgotten, a gift from a friend, opportunities she had never considered. Her language had changed her atmosphere, and her atmosphere shaped her reality. This is not magic, it is law. Just as gravity never fails, the law of the tongue never fails. It does not ask whether you are ready, it only obeys the frequency you release. So I ask you, what decrees are you sending into your invisible kingdom today? Do you speak as one lost in complaint, or as one crowned with authority? Every careless phrase is a seed. Every sacred command is a harvest. And here is the beauty of alignment. Once your speech matches the truth of your spirit, struggle begins to dissolve. You no longer resist the flow with words of fear. You no longer beg for scraps at the table of life. You rise, you declare, and you know that what you speak is already accomplished. But there is one more element that completes the formula. Words without belief are hollow. Decrees without conviction fade into echoes. To truly activate the wealth formula, your commands must be infused with unwavering belief, a knowing that cannot be shaken by delay. That is where we go next. Power is not found in a single declaration. Power is born in repetition, in rhythm, in the daily weaving of words, until they become the very fabric of your being. This is the law of consistency. Words spoken once are seeds, but words spoken daily are gardens. A single phrase may plant possibility, but only consistent speech cultivates a harvest. Picture this: your life is a sacred temple of wealth. Each day you step into it, and with every word you speak, you light a candle. Some light faint and flicker because they are born of doubt. Others blaze brightly because they are forged in faith. As the days pass, the candles multiply, and the temple glows with radiance. This is the temple you tend with your tongue. So how do you live the formula? By weaving it into the rhythm of your day until it becomes as natural as breathing. Let me give you the structure. Morning is your opening act. Before the world pours its noise into your mind, declare abundance, place your feet on the floor, breathe deeply, and say aloud, "This day is blessed. Wealth flows toward me in ways seen and unseen. I walk in divine supply." Speak it with conviction, not as a wish, but as an established fact. This morning command sets the tone for the hours ahead. Midday is your checkpoint. Here is where the subtle whispers of fear often creep in. A bill arrives, a worry surfaces, a thought says, "What if there isn't enough?" Pause and reframe. Instead of agreeing with fear, declare, "This too is provided for. Nothing can resist divine flow. I remain supported." By catching these small moments and replacing them, you shift the frequency of your entire day. Evening is your closing ritual. As the sun sets, step into gratitude. Whisper, "Every word I spoke today has returned to me multiplied. I give thanks for the unseen harvest already in motion." Gratitude is the seal on your commands. It tells the universe you trust the process, that you know the invisible is already working in your favor. To deepen your integration, use journaling as your mirror. Each night, ask yourself, "How did I command my wealth today? Where did I let fear speak instead of faith?" Write honestly. This practice unveils your hidden patterns and gives you the power to redirect them. Over time, you will see the pages of your journal shift from worry to certainty, from doubt to declaration. Understand this. Daily commands do more than shape your outer circumstances, they rewire your subconscious. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly, especially when charged with emotion. Each time you affirm abundance, each time you reframe fear, each time you declare gratitude, you carve new pathways in the mind. Soon wealth is no longer something you are chasing. It becomes the identity you live from. Think of it like music. A single note is beautiful, but a melody only emerges when notes are played in sequence. Your words are the divine orchestra of your life. One phrase may stir hope, but the daily rhythm of declarations composes a symphony of abundance. Let me give you a short prayer to anchor this practice. Spirit of divine supply, guide my tongue daily. Let no careless phrase block my good. May my words light the temple of my wealth, and may my speech align me with the abundance already prepared for me. When you live this formula, consistency transforms into identity. You no longer have to remember to speak wealth. You become the one who naturally speaks it. You no longer force yourself to command abundance. You walk as its rightful owner. This is where transformation deepens. For the one who tends the garden of words daily will inevitably walk into a new financial identity, not a visitor to wealth, but a resident of it. Not a seeker of abundance, but an embodiment of it, and that is the bridge we now cross. The formula does not end with words alone. It culminates in the final shift of identity, where you no longer try to attract wealth but awaken to the truth that you already are wealth itself. Close your eyes for a moment, breathe deeply, and let the noise of the world fall away. Imagine yourself standing before a silent gate of destiny. It is tall, radiant, shimmering with golden light, and for so long it has seemed locked. You have knocked, you have waited, you have wondered, but now, in this very moment, you hold the final key. This is not just another teaching. This is the sacred turning point. You have learned that words are not casual, they are creative. You have seen that careless phrases sabotage, while conscious commands construct. You have walked the path of alignment, tended the garden of daily declarations, and now you stand here, ready to step across the threshold into a new identity. See the gate begin to open before you. Hear the whisper of release. Like a divine orchestra tuning before a grand performance, the air shifts, the atmosphere changes. You are no longer the one who begs for money, who fears lack, who hopes for scraps. You are the one who commands. You are the one who calls forth abundance with the authority of divine alignment. Now, repeat after me, not timidly, but with the full force of your spirit. I now command my wealth into being. I am wealthy. I am free. I am aligned with divine abundance. Feel those words reverberate through your chest like a sacred drumbeat. Let them sink into every cell, every corner of your mind, every hidden place where doubt once lived. These words are not empty. They are the royal decree of your soul. They travel into the unseen, and they cannot return void. You have just activated the complete money formula. It is as if you have placed the final key into a divine vault. And with a resounding click, the treasures prepared for you are unlocked. Not someday, not in a distant future. The law is exact, and the shift has already begun. No longer see yourself as a seeker of money. That identity has dissolved from this day forward. See yourself as a commander of wealth, the one who speaks, and it is established. The one who declares, and the universe obeys. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. This is the design of divine law working perfectly through you. Carry this into your day. Walk as if the unseen forces are already rearranging themselves in your favor, because they are. Speak with the authority of someone who knows that invisible armies of supply march at their command. Think with the calmness of one who no longer wonders if provision will come but knows it is already on the way. You are no longer the same. Something in you has shifted forever. The old words, the old doubts, the old scarcity, they have no power here. You walk in a new vibration, one that attracts, multiplies, and sustains. Let me leave you with this final prayer. Divine Source, I thank you for opening the gates of abundance. I thank you that wealth is no longer outside of me, but alive within me. Guide my words, guard my thoughts, and let my life be a testimony of prosperity, aligned with spirit. And now, beloved soul, if this message has awakened something deep within you, if you are ready to walk this new path of abundance with daily power and divine alignment, I invite you to carry this teaching forward. Like this video, subscribe for more daily spiritual guidance, and share it with someone who needs to hear that they, too, are more powerful than their circumstances. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of your new identity. You are wealthy. You are free. You are aligned. And the formula of money, spoken through spiritual command, is now yours forever.